Oye, muchachos, el diablo, Zaroso. Suerte que Mariví que tú tienes en la calle. Búscate una mujer seria para ti. Que fue el diablo. Coño. Yo quisiera enamorarme, pero no puedo. Yo quisiera enamorarme, pero no puedo. Yo no confío, nah, no en mí mismo confío. Si quieres quedarte, hoy que hace frío, y mañana te vas. Nah, muchas quieren mi baby, quieren tener mi primogénito, el si lleva sin crédito, ya me aburrido y quiero un toque inédito. Hazle caso a tu amiga, ella tiene razón, yo voy a romperte el corazón, ay, te enamores de mí, te enamores de mí, pero yo estoy aquí, no importa que yo aquí. Hazle caso a tu amiga, ella tiene razón, yo voy a romperte el corazón, te enamores de mí, pero yo estoy aquí, pero yo aquí. No me vuelvas a decir, bebé, yo no soy tuyo ni de nadie, yo soy solo de mí. No me vuelvas a decir, bebé, ya tú lo sabes que yo no soy ni un poquito fácil. No me vuelvas a decir, bebé, yo no soy tuyo ni de nadie, yo soy solo de mí.
Yeah, parody. Check 1 2 1 2.
Check.
Okay,
Ooh,
now,
there we
all
go.
right.
All right.
Yeah, look at that.
All right. Check. Yes. All
So
right.
now, if I do this on Sports Engine, are we live? Can we hear ourselves? No, because it's not going to go live for another 25 minutes. But the fact that it's bouncing here,
Yeah.
it was not doing that last week.
No.
So that gives me
good.
hope.
My dad said he was going to watch too. He's got
So,
nothing going on
nope.
tonight, so I'll have him looking and seeing if he can hear us. I'll text him right now.
I just sent my dad the link.
Yeah, please let us know.
esas cosas que extrañan los que se van, disfrutando de noches de esas que ya no se van, que ya no se van, pero queriendo volver a la última vez. Ya lo sabes, te miré y contarte las cosas que no te conté, y tirarte las fotos que no te tiré. Ey, tengo el pecho pegado, me suena mata, el corazón dándome pata. Baby, ¿dónde tú estás? Paré el sombrero, bonito cristal. Hoy esto es prueba, tocando acá. Hoy la calle la dejamos en barata. Yo veo tu nombre y me sale un suspiro. No sé si son petardos, si son tiros. Me lo quita, pero tranquilo. Estoy en poder, tranquilo. Pero tirar más fotos de cuando te tuve. Pero mirarte más fuerte y abrazo de la fuerte que tuve. Ey, ojalá que lo mío nunca se mude. Y si él no puede, saber que me ayude. De cuando te tuve. Pero mirarte más fuerte y abrazo de la fuerte que tuve. Ojalá que lo mío nunca se mude. El bosque con abuelo todo el día, jugando dominó. Y me pregunto si aún pienso en ti, yo le digo que no. Que me estaría cerquita de ti, ya se terminó, ya se terminó. Siempre me llaman una culpa que tuviste. A ti toda la vida te va a ganar, te trata la felicidad, los mames de dulce. Hoy yo quiero beber, beber. Beber, que hablan mierda hasta que me dulcen. Estoy bien loco, pa' venir aquí ya está caminando y así que loco. Estoy bien loco, vamos a disfrutar que nunca se sabe si nos queda poco. Y tirar más, gente los quiero de cojones, los amo. Gracias por estar aquí, de verdad. Para mí es importante que estén aquí, cada uno de ustedes significa mucho para mí. Así que vamos con la foto, no empatamos, me está durmiendo, por el corrido, vamos. Zumba. Ya ven mi tiene el nene y ya la nena. Ya no estamos para la movida cadena. Estamos para las cosas que valgan la pena. El perreo, la salsa, la bomba y la plana. Tendría que la mía, ¿cómo es que suena? tiempo y no te veo. Dime dónde estás, dime dónde estás. Te extraño el bellacao, las noches de perreo. Dime dónde estás, dime dónde estás. Que ando mirando la foto de cuando teníamos bonito recuerdo de cuando nos escapamos. Nos comimos en el carro, el cuarto y yo. Esa que te veniste, a mí nunca te mudaste. Estoy puesto para repetir, solo estoy en el papel. Yo lo traigo en un blog. Me confundí en la situación. Me tuve todo el día con el gato, porque a mí no me molesta. Que tú sigas, tú me eres mambo, y yo me río. Me tienes loco, ese culo está en pillo. Si te rompí, para nadie te conmigo. Loca, solo hago cosas con mi ropa. Hace tiempo no la veo y me toca. Ay, me quedé mirando la foto de cuando hicimos bonito recuerdo de cuando nos escapamos. Nos comimos en el carro, el cuarto y yo. Desde que te viniste, a mí nunca te mudaste.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the New Smyrna Beach Sports Complex for the match today between Nona FC and your Shark Coast FC. And now your starters for Nona FC. Number 1, goalkeeper Tom Mabone. Number 3, a defender Andre Gentile. Number 6, defender Tim Berdarich. Number 7, forward Michael Apaya. Number 8, midfielder Guillermo Gomez. Number 9, a forward, Larry Noel. Number 15, midfielder, Ose Jampi. Number 17, midfielder, Felipe Morera. Number 19, midfielder, Thomas Bowe. Number 21, midfielder Samuel Mutiri. Number 22, defender Andrew Portis. And now, your Shark Coast FC. In goal, number 0, Mark Torado. At left back, number 3, Weston DeSoto. At center back, your captain, number 4, Cale Saunders. At center back, number 28, Giuseppe Croce. At right back, number 11, Ryan Motang. Defensive midfielder, number 13, Abram Wilson. In midfield, number 14, Gio Rodriguez. Midfielder, number 8, Mo Balbaki. Midfielder number 20, Dom Topolsky. At forward number 7, Josue Yuta. And the number 9, Hector Moreno. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we proudly honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Please stand and remove all hats.
Well, live from the New Smyrna Beach Sports Complex here in beautiful Volusia County, Florida. It's time for USL2 league action. It's a top-of-the-table clash between Nona FC and the host Shark Coast FC. Both of these teams coming off of draws in the midweek. Both of these teams tied with Sporting Jacksonville atop the USL2 Southeastern Division standings about halfway through the regular season. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company. John Austin IV will join me shortly here on the broadcast. Well, the Sharks are coming off of a disappointing 0-0 draw up in Gainesville on Wednesday against Inter Gainesville, a match that just saw 5 combined shots on target. And Shark Coast really looked to play through Josue Utah up front, and it didn't really look to come off that well. For Nona FC, their only win of the season came against Shark Coast back on their home opener back on the 20th of April, and they beat Shark Coast in a resounding 5-1 win, but a 31st minute red card for center back Wade Stinson aided Nona FC in that thumping of Shark Coast. Since then, all Nona has done is draw. A draw against Sporting Jacks 0-0 and a draw against Brave SC on Wednesday 1-1 back home in Orlando. John, it's great to be back for more USL2 action.
Great to be here in the booth with you, Michael. It's a beautiful day outside for some soccer. A little warm, but there's a little bit of a breeze, so you love to see it. No clouds in the sky really to note, so we should be good to go here. Interested to see if the Shark Coast FC can get their lick back in this one after taking that thumping down in Lake Nona earlier this season.
Well, on paper, Nona FC should run this division. They've got international talent up and down the roster. Only 2 Americans in the starting 11 for Nona. But Shark Coast has proven that they can run with every team in this division so far. Their only loss to this Nona side earlier this year, looking to avenge that tonight.
They really can, and I think Shark Coast, especially after the last home game where they, shipped those 2 goals against Brookhouse FC, I think they'll be looking to get 3 points here. They've only got 1 win on the season, but I think they'll be motivated. They set up a little bit differently this time. Coach Monsanto has them set up in almost a 4-4-2, maybe a 4-3 or a 4-2 or 4-3-1-2 as well, where we'll see Topolsky kind of, having that full reign of the midfield and Utah up top. As we're about to get underway here, bringing down the music here in the stadium.
Nona in the black tops, orange bottoms. Shark Coast in the all-white as it is game on from the East Coast here in Volusia County. And you talked about that 2 up top between Hector Moreno and Josue Utah. On Wednesday, Shark Coast ran a similar looking formation on paper, but in reality, Moreno looked like he kind of stood up top on his own and let everybody else run in behind him as an early attack comes in. From the left-hand side, Thomas Bowe will send it behind for a goal kick. Bowe, one of the Floridians on this team from Naples, just finished up his freshman year at West Virginia. And you talk about international talent on this Nona side. You also have a ton of Division I talent on this Nona side as well.
Yeah, looking through, I mean, this is basically a who's who of talent. I mean, Lake Nona, it looks like they didn't – you see a lot of these USL2 teams, they get a lot of local guys, players that are going, you know, Stetson, Daytona State, players that are in the area, maybe some UCF guys as well. And but Nona, it looks like they can just dip wherever they'd like to. I don't know who is running that. Yeah, but it looks like they have quite a few – you know, international, a lot of international talent. I remember you were talking about Fabio Bosazan, who was on the bench out of Germany, someone that we'll probably see, I would imagine, in the second half. I'm really intrigued to see how Utah and Moreno pair up top. They're former college teammates at Daytona State, and I think that they're going to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder tonight, as far as I can see.
Long ball over the top. And offsides is Topolsky.
Looked like a very good ball. I believe that was Giuseppe Croce who played that over the top.
Yep.
Looked to be a very good ball, just a little bit overzealous from the Slovakian international Topolsky. But this looks like it's going to be a pretty open game. It looks like both teams are trying to attack early. I mean, we're within 3 minutes here, and both teams have already tried going forward. I mean, Lake Nona, they had that first attack. I think they really should have done something better with that. I think that Bowe probably would have liked to have that one back.
And you can always tell Giuseppe Croce, who played about 75 minutes on Wednesday, by his blonde hair. I called him the blonde bullet on Wednesday up in Gainesville because he was playing the kind of Ryan Motang role, trying to get up and down the wing.
Great pass from Bowe there.
Into the middle, this is Apaya, and he will earn the first corner of the game for Nona FC. Michael Apaya from Ghana. Junior college at Arizona Western and then Multnomah University, the NAI level. After that, spent his senior year at FIU. And then just got drafted by Inter Miami this year in the MLS Super Draft.
Awesome to hear, awesome to see. So he's getting tuned up before going into the Inter Miami. You know, their setup has been incredible, attracting a lot of international talent ever since signing, you know, obviously Lionel Messi. And the MLS this summer, I mean, obviously taking a break with the World Cup going on. I'm really excited for them to switch to a regular schedule. I think that'll be great, especially for teams in Florida, because as we've seen many times this year with both here and some baseball programs around here, that the weather here is not always conducive to playing outdoor sports in the summer because it rains every day. I don't know about y'all that are watching from outside of Florida, but about 4 o'clock every day you can pretty much set your watch to it.
We thought we weren't going to have a game here last week because it was raining so hard before the match.
And then it just ended up being like a sweat lodge out there.
Topolsky hoofs it long. Moreno can't keep up with it. Utah will chase after. This is Tim Bradarch from Dusseldorf, Germany, on the back line for Nona. Croce steps in, and you can see the game plan from minute one for Shark Coast, which is boot it long and let the 6'4" Hector Moreno go to work up top.
And we talked about it last week. He wins those knockdowns at such a high clip. All you need is somebody playing behind him. But it looks like we're seeing them start to shape up. It looks like almost a diamond formation in midfield with Balbaki and Rodriguez on the flanks. Abram Wilson anchoring that defense anchoring that midfield from the 6th position. Some good. And then you have Moreno and Utah up front and Topolsky in that number 10 position.
Yep. That was Topolsky making a nuisance of himself on the wing, earning a free kick for Shark Coast. This is the second Shark Coast free kick in almost the exact same position. And Shark Coast has almost become I almost said special team. It's the wrong kind of football. It's set-piece merchants of the league. They had the 2 set-piece goals last home game, and then, of course, they had the corner kick goal earlier this season against Sporting Jacksonville.
And I will say, it looks like they made a little tweak to the uniforms, put a black stripe in the middle of the in the numbers, so we can actually kind of see the numbers this
It is
week,
a
Michael.
little bit.
It's nice.
It is a little bit better. Topolsky will send it towards the back post. Header won by Brodaric and cleared. But Cale Saunders, who had 2 goals from center back in the last home game, sends it forward. Topolsky trying to bring it down, and right there to clear it is Thomas Bowe.
Good win from Rodriguez.
Gio Rodriguez in the middle of that midfield. He's going to be one of the engines in the midfield for Shark Coast. He's battling with Samuel Mutiri out of Belgium. Very crowded out there on the far side as Nona FC wins a free kick. Nona FC is no stranger to going deep into USL2 playoffs. They've made the national playoffs back in 2024 and 2023, but lost in the first round of those national playoffs both times. And they have either been first or second in this division each of the last 4 years.
Yeah, and it's an interesting, this year there seems to be quite a bit of parity amongst these teams. I mean, Nona obviously beats Shark Coast 5-1, but they're tied atop the table right now. A lot of draws so far, Michael, we've seen throughout this league. A lot of draws going on.
Saunders marshalling Apaya. Torado clears it. Balbaki, who switched up his hair a little bit this week, has lost the dreads and just...
Torado cleans up. Torado cannot be understated how well of a game he played last week. They obviously end up drawing that game, but it was no fault of his. I think he had 6 saves, made some great, reaction saves. It was just unfortunate. And Moreno winning another one of those knockdowns. Just unfortunately, that was Brodaric who cleans it up.
We've seen Moteng switch it up. He's on the right wing right now. He was on the left wing last week.
And I wonder, with Abram Wilson being a designated, being in that 6th position, that center defensive mid, if when we're attacking, Moteng and I believe that is Weston DeSoto will be almost wing backs, and you have Abram Wilson kind of slotting back in to make it 3 at the back is what it looks like so far. It's going to be more of a fluid motion, and I like this because, we're getting almost a month into the season now, so the players have had time.
Back to a little 1-2. Utah trying to burst through the defense. He's into the box. Utah, a terrific tackle by Brodaric. A goal-saving last-ditch effort to put it behind for a corner.
I thought for sure Utah was going to score there. I mean, having covered him for 2 years at Daytona State, when he gets in positions like that, but great recovery there from Brodaric and only conceding a corner.
Almost the first test for Tom Maybon from France, the goalkeeper for Nona FC. The other goalkeeper on the bench is Santiago Ardilla.
Does look like Shark Coast has a bit of a height advantage here in the box.
Maybon gets a punch to it, but Baki tries to hit it on the half volley and comes up with nothing but crisp Volusia County air. And well-won ball in the midfield. All alone is Apaya. He slips it left. This is Thomas Bowe, and Balbaki nicks it off him.
Great tackle there from Balbaki. Way to track back.
Oh, and a late one put in there by Balbaki. The referee might come back to have some words with Mo.
Yeah, that was a cynical challenge, to say the very least, because the ball was already gone.
Nona will play on. Brodaric. Here is Bowe, matched up one-on-one against Moteng. Drop back to Beausejean.
Good hands from Torado there. Good, strong hands.
So it looks like Beausejean is starting. I see him out there, number 11.
Oh, interesting. So a little bit of gamesmanship. They gave us the wrong starting lineup.
Yeah. Cale Saunders had 2 goals last home match, both from Aiden Melville free kicks in the span of 7 minutes. Out to clear is Maybon.
I believe Melville, I think he's probably gone now, right?
Yes,
for the
he
Puerto
was.
Rican national
He was
team.
not with the squad on Wednesday, and I did not see him warming up today. But
that's a huge miss for Shark Coast.
that was what a game last week for Aiden Melville, though. He got subbed on at halftime. had 2 assists in about 7 minutes and then subbed immediately back off again.
See, just a warning, it looks like, for Balbaki, and honestly a little fortunate. I think that could have been a tone setter, and that was the referee giving him a little grace early on in the game. But Balbaki, I mean, he's had a yellow card in every game we've covered so far this year, so would not surprise me, and glad he's not getting that this early so far, Michael.
Thomas Bowe, who is half Irish, half American, has dual citizenship, will throw the ball in. Andre Gentile plays it back. He's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Again, a very international flavor on this Nona FC team. Their nickname is the Toros. Not surprising because they wear orange.
Yeah, they almost look like the old school Houston Dynamo kits with you don't see black jerseys with orange pants and orange socks. It's, I don't know if I would call it a good look necessarily, Michael, but it's certainly interesting and unique.
I remember those Dynamo kits were gray over orange, were they not?
I remember they had a black, I don't know if it was the,
Here goes Polsky down the wing, and he is offsides for the second time today. That a nice pass by Gio.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew Portis pulled up the right back there for Nona FC, pulled up at the last second to draw Topolsky offside, get him in that offside trap. But it's working so far.
But it's interesting that we've seen Topolsky pop up on that left channel making those runs instead of Utah a couple of times. Turnover in an advantageous position for Shark Coast. Mo Balbaki will just decide to play it back to Giuseppe Croce. Mo Balbaki is such an engine of that midfield. He will put in the miles. He'll pop up anywhere and everywhere on the pitch. And it's so tough because he has that propensity to pick up yellow cards and be a liability late in matches. Long ball ahead, looking for Utah. A little bit too long, and Mabon will grab it.
You see that back three pretty much of Abram Wilson, Croce, and Cale Saunders as Motang and DeSoto get forward. And it looks like it's giving Nona a couple problems, actually, the way that they're squeezing and then getting the width. But they haven't been able to play Motang or DeSoto in. I'm interested to see how that develops throughout the game.
Here's Topolsky popping up on the right this time. He'll dribble it in and play it over to Croce. Utah, the hand on his back from Badaric. Will play it all the way back, and Shark Coast will reset. Nice crowd out here on the east coast of Volusia County tonight, as soccer fever is gripping the nation with the World Cup coming up in about a week.
Yep. What's it, 5 days until opening day? We've got Mexico against South Africa, a rematch of the opening match of the 2010 World Cup.
I remember it like it was yesterday, that 2010
What a World
Cup
Cup that was.
Knocked down. Utah couldn't get it past Gentile, I believe, on there. No, but he got it back. Utah plays it across, and it's just touched away from Moreno's foot. Flying in to win the ball is Motang. Motang puts it across, headed down, and eventually cleared by Nona. Shark Coast, after an early Nona FC attack, has had the better of these last 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, the field tilt definitely seems to have swung the opposite direction after that beginning. It looked like Lake Nona were kind of dicing Shark Coast up, and now looks like Shark Coast has kind of found their footing. Again, though, you just got it's the final ball. It's been the story of the season for Shark Coast. A lot of good positions. Just got to make sure you get that final ball in.
Yeah, just 6 goals in 5 matches for Shark Coast.
Yeah, and you traveled with the team this week over to Gainesville, is that right?
I did. Well, I drove up myself just to watch the game, but yeah, it was good to kind of be detached from the broadcaster role and just kind of sit and watch. That's a great ball. Here's Motang moving in, and he got a lucky deflection off the foot of Gentile, because that shot was going way wide off his foot. And in fact, the center referee overruled the assistant here on the near side and says it's a goal kick.
Yeah, that was, you could see what he wanted. His eyes kind of lit up, but I think if he was going to shoot that, he needed to take that a bit sooner. He took a touch, and I don't know if that was what he wanted it to be. I think he just kind of sliced through it and ended up going way wide into the kids' play center.
Yep. Meanwhile, Nona FC has 7 goals on the year, but 5 of them coming in that 5-1 win against Shark Coast. They've only scored 2 goals outside of that in a 1-1 draw against Brookhouse and a 1-1 draw against Brave. Their other game was a 0-0 against Sporting Jacksonville. Playing it through is Larry Noel. He is offside on the feed from Bo. Excuse me. There's a couple of interesting storylines for Nona FC on guys that are not in the starting lineup. Balbaki playing a 1-2 with Rodriguez. Moteng with some room on the right-hand side. Topolsky shakes off a defender, plays it inside to Utah, and Utah can't corral it. Long run for Bozajan to keep it in, but he got taken off his foot by Gio Rodriguez. Really impressive early on for Shark Coast. They're pressuring a lot in the midfield. It almost looks kind of like the early 2010s Barcelona-esque, right? You win the ball back immediately once you lose it.
They really are. They're all flying to the ball. You always see at least 2 Sharks around whatever Nona player has it. And it looks like they're kind of suffocating Nona. Also, this looks like the most excited maybe, or maybe not excited, but it looks like the team is, very electric today. So I think that we're going to have, it looks like there's a lot of energy. Maybe they've been resting up. Maybe they've been, hitting the training table a little bit more, but they look sharp as far as we can see so far. Great back heel from Balbaki there to lose his man.
Balbaki's got it again. Shakes off his defender. Utah takes a touch. It's tipped through by Moreno, and the flag goes up again. That's the 3rd time Topolsky's been caught offside. That was a nifty outside of the foot pass from Hector Moreno to try and set up Topolsky.
That is, and Topolsky, that they are playing that offside trap, and he has fallen for it. He has fallen for the cheese every single time so far. So that's something that he's definitely going to have to work on, because that's cost him 3 goal-scoring opportunities if he can just hold that run just a millisecond, because he has the pace to get in behind.
Driving through is Gentile. He lost the ball, though. Taken away by Abram Wilson, and Wilson got fouled to the back. And a big old tangle of legs after Wilson went down to the turf. That's the first time we've seen Andre Gentile kind of get forward from his left back spot, try and drive at the defense to make some space. And I think that's one of the reasons that Shark Coast is having the better of the runs right now, is because they're bringing their outside backs into the attack.
Yeah, and you look at this setup, it looks almost like a 4-3-1-2 is what I believe, where Bosajan is kind of playing that, where he's floating around kind of all over the place. And it has not quite come off for them yet. And it looks like when they are in position, or when in possession, they switch to a back 3 as well. So it looks like kind of a meeting of the minds as far as strategies go between the 2 coaches here.
Really well done by Balbaki to marshal the ball off of Apaya's foot. Long ball, Moreno can't get there. The second ball is won by Shark Coast, but a strong challenge in from Berdaric. Gets the ball back for Nona FC. Here's Bosajan. Outside of the foot, trying to get to Bo. Saunders does well to nick the ball off his foot. Rodriguez brings it down to Polske. Hits it straight up. Moreno still able to get ahead on it. It's miraculous how Moreno can just find himself in these positions to win the ball every time. That is obviously not what Abram Wilson wanted to do with that ball.
Now, he was looking for the run of Weston DeSoto off that left wing, but DeSoto was about 35 yards from where the ball was played. So didn't quite come off. Good idea, just not quite where it needed to be.
Here's Apaya. Rodriguez gets a foot to the ball. And now Bo battling hard, and will reset to Brodaric. Tim Brodaric came up with the Wolfsburg and Dusseldorf academies. Has played in a couple of regional league teams in Germany as well, including Fortuna Köln.
A lot of international experience on both of these teams, really.
Yep. You mentioned Aiden Melville, now with the Puerto Rico national team. They're playing a pre-World Cup friendly versus Saudi Arabia this week. So we're hoping Aiden can get some minutes so we have a fully capped international on our team when he comes back. And he got that opportunity because through his mother's side, the family. 20 minutes played here. And no real chance for either team outside of the one by Bo and the really good look by Josue Yuta that Brodaric made a last-ditch effort to save. Topolsky will run afoul of the referee's whistle. He put an elbow into Andrew Portis's shoulder.
He could have gone for the ball or the man, and he certainly went for the man on that one. He decided that was not the ball he was getting.
One of the things I noticed about Wednesday's game against Gainesville, it was a very physical game. Refs were letting a lot of things go.
Which I like. I mean, the first game we had here, there were so many whistles, and the referee it was really a referee show, and it was not great. I mean, it was just a lot of back and forth, stoppage. So I like it when this referee seems to have a pretty good finger on the pulse of this game, kind of letting the boys play, letting it get a natural flow to it.
Apaya popping up on the right-hand side and playing that straight out of play. Nona SC is led by Bruno Jaeger as their head coach, along with Christian Gutierrez and Carlos Hernandez, his assistants. And have maybe the biggest roster of trainers and assistant coaches and staff that we've seen in this league so far. Of course, maybe Sporting Jacks might have more resources, but in terms of talent acquisition and training, I've said it multiple times, Nona FC on paper should be the best team in this division, but right now it's an even game between them and Shark Coast. Not a great clearance by Torado, as that one's going to go straight out of play.
And it's been even, but even so, I would say Shark Coast has definitely had the lion's share of both possession and the actual dangerous chances, where there are a couple, maybe 3 yards combined of offsides from Dom Topolsky of maybe being 1 or 2 goals up in this game. I mean, because he was wide open, just has to be able to hold that run just a little bit. Interested to see if he can adjust that throughout this game.
Guillermo Gomez turning with the ball, played through by Portis. Apaya takes it down. Marshaled by Croce. Tries to overlap it on the far sideline, and that's going to be kept in play by Samuel Mutiri. But he couldn't do much with it. This is the real first extended spell of possession we've seen from Nona outside of the opening 2 minutes. I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but there was a lot of action right as I said it, so we can get a chance to talk about it. With the really nice weather tonight, this is probably the biggest crowd we've had out here all season for a Shark Coast game.
It really is. It's packed over here on the homestand side. Not facing into the sun as well, which is probably why I think there's some Nona people here as well. We heard some cheers when we were announcing the starting lineup, so a lot of good energy here. I mean, the community has truly embraced this soccer program, and in year one, it's already been very impressive, and this is just it's just the beginning. So if you're in the area and you ever have a chance to come out, check it out. Some great football on display. Great players, and just a good organization overall.
And just 2 home games left in Season 1 after tonight. Long ball over the top. Topolsky can't get there because Tom Maybon was way off his line out of the box and heads it away.
A heads-up play, one might say there.
Yes,
from
indeed.
the French goalkeeper.
Mabon listed at 6 foot tall, but looks a little bit shorter than that on the eye test.
Might be a generous,
generous
6
6
foot. Because looking at him and Ryan Motang, there doesn't seem to be, or him and Josue Utah, doesn't seem to be much difference there. And Utah, I believe, is not a hair over 5'8" or 5'9".
That ball is out of play. It'll be a Shark Coast throw in. Samuel Mutiri couldn't keep it in. Mutiri out of Belgium. Played at Mobile College in Alabama. Was a first-team NAIA All-American, and then he got the jump to Division I. Played this past year at Memphis. Topolsky cutting in field, finding Balbaki. Utah tried to set up Topolsky. It clattered off his heel. But a great job by Shark Coast to prevent the counterattack.
They have numbers.
Utah on the left wing, sizing up Portis. Driving at him, tries to get the ball to his right foot. He does, he shoots, and Portis blocks the shot.
That's when you expect Utah. He was looking to get that shot off on his right peg like he's done many, many times. He loves cutting in off the left, just outside of the 18-yard box, trying to bend it. Just didn't quite come off for him there, but also good defense there from Nona.
Well, great tracking back for Shark Coast again.
Pretty open game.
That was DeSoto tracking back. Rodriguez plays through. Moreno takes it around the keeper, puts it on net, and it's denied. Andre Gentile with the goal line clearance to keep this thing 0-0.
It was a great, great move from Moreno to get around Mabone, but you would have liked him to maybe take another touch to try to place that. And that was, he sped himself up a little bit, and that's another one that Moreno, you expect him to score that.
Larry Noel got knocked over. Noel had 2 goals in the first meeting between these two teams. Out of Santa Cruz, Trinidad and Tobago. Larry Noel, Salt Lake Community College, Marshall, and now UNC Charlotte for 2026. Shark Coast has had the much better of the offensive opportunities. That's probably 2 clear-cut chances where Mabon's been beat and the defense has had to come up clutch for Nona. That ball's in the back of the net, but it will not count for Larry Noel. That's the only time the ball was in the back of the net on Wednesday was for Inter Gainesville, but Al Hassan was about 10 miles offside.
So. Man, so nice. They named him twice. Al Hassan, who was sent off in the game that Inter Gainesville came here, that completely changed the complexion because Inter Gainesville kind of had all of the momentum, and then he gets himself sent off for violent conduct, and very pacey over the top winger for Inter Gainesville, but Topolsky keeps finding himself in these pockets. Keeps finding space. Looks like he's pretty much been given the green light to be wherever he sees fit.
If any of my Football Manager players out there, he's been given the free roll by head coach Nate Monsanto tonight. I know that's a pretty deep cut. I don't think anybody is going to get that one.
Who doesn't love some Football Manager taking Port Vale to the Champions League final? For me, it was always Plymouth Argyle. Yeah, I love taking them up.
My current save is Edinburgh City in the Scottish 3rd Division. But you learn, it's one of those games where you can learn so much about the world of football that you didn't know before. Like who knew there was a team in Edinburgh in the 3rd Division of Scotland, right?
Yeah, because obviously, both the 2 biggest clubs in Scotland, both Celtic and Rangers, both hail from Glasgow, and then I believe Edinburgh, their number 1 is
Hearts is in Edinburgh, and
who lost this year, heartbreaking fashion, no pun intended. Scottish division, though, an underappreciated form of football, I believe.
DeSoto plays it in. Header from Brodaric.
Moreno was lurking. He wanted that one.
Balbaki trying to deny Bo. Bo flies down the wing, outside of the foot. Way off his line is Torado to clear it into the stands. This game has opened way up in the last 10 minutes or so.
Almost like a basketball game. It seems like the midfields are just getting completely bypassed on both sides as we approach the 30th minute. Good win there by Balbaki.
But he can't do anything with it. Moreno got a foul. Guillermo Gomez, who is pretty much exclusively been marking him today. Gomez listed at 6'2", Berdaric listed at 6'4", so it's a very tall back line for Moreno to contend with. Out of play, that'll be Shark Coast ball, and I'm very impressed with the wingbacks for Shark Coast today and how they've been pinching to the outside and not letting the wingers for Nona get these easy outside runs.
Yeah, I really like the way Coach Nate has set them up today, and I think, you know, if they keep turning the screw the way that they have, they're one good final ball from being 1-0 up in this game, and I think if they can just stay the course, find Moreno or find Utah in one of those dangerous positions, or maybe even Topolsky, who's been popping up all over the pitch. I hope he's wearing a Fitbit or something. I'd like to see his mileage already in this game.
Nona FC has run afoul of the, you need to throw the ball in where the ball went out. I refed for a long time at the youth level and high school level, and that was always something that neither parents nor kids really seem to understand when they're just starting out.
With players of this caliber, I doubt it's that they don't understand it. It feels like a bit more of gamesmanship where they're trying to buy every single yard, especially it looked like they were going for a bit of a long throw in there that we've been seeing so much more of in international football over the last couple of years.
We are going to hit a mandatory hydration break at the 30th minute with the temperature above 80 degrees following the FIFA regulation. So I'll take the time to tell you about the sponsors for Shark Coast FC. Today's game is brought to you by Ocean Properties, Adam Clark Law, Coastal Integrative Health, Beeman Nursery, Izzy Island Tacos and Ice Cream, Advent Health, Dr. Evan Fines, JLC Construction, Seahorse Inn, Ever After, FRMS, Advanced Urology, Cool Treats, NSB Battery Tender. Our premier sponsor is Lexend, and our title sponsor here at Shark Coast FC is Go Gut, a healthier gut, a healthier you. Thank you to all of our sponsors that make Shark Coast FC possible. So your breakdown of the first 30 minutes here, John, and it's mostly been Shark Coast on the ball, but Nona's looked dangerous going forward, especially with Apaya.
And that's the thing is, Apaya and Bosajan, they both had their chances, but it looks like they're almost content for Shark Coast to have the ball. And the thing with Shark Coast is like the offsides, they really need to clean those up. That has been probably the Achilles heel so far in this game. But the setup is different than it has been for the last couple of weeks. I really like how they look right now. You can see the players are starting to kind of get that familiarity with each other because a lot of these players just met 3 weeks ago. And so I think if they can get – all it takes is one mistake. That's it. And as we saw last week, all it takes is 2 mistakes for a team to get back in it and tie you. So the field tilt and, who has the most possession, as we know in football, that's not really how it always goes. But I do think that Shark Coast FC, all they need is one chance to really, really come off. I think you need Moreno or Utah or Topolsky on the end of it, and I think Shark Coast could take this one.
And really, you could be 2-0 up right now, right?
Yeah,
you've had
easily. You've
had Tim Bardaric clear one off of Josue Utah's foot, and then I believe it was Andre Gentile
cleared
it off the line when
and
Hector
you had the
Moreno
Moteng chance as well, where Moteng he kind of was paralyzed by choice and just swung it.
Free kick for Shark Coast to get us back underway here. 34 minutes on the clock here in New Smyrna Beach at the New Smyrna Beach Sports Complex Stadium. Croce plays it deep. Utah can't get on the end of it. It was a bullet header by Berdaric. But Balbaki controls for Shark Coast.
I really like the midfield three that Shark Coast has put forward.
Chip forward, Utah back heel. Oh, what a save! Tom Mabon with the third ridiculous chance for Shark Coast here in the first half. That's denied. Moreno tries to blast one. It's off of Berdaric's foot, straight up in the air. Moreno still battling for it. Topolsky on the edge of the area tries to curl it, and it will only succeed in going wide. More chances for Shark Coast. That was a great save by Mabon.
It really was. I thought that was going to be the one. That's the first save of the game we've seen from a goalkeeper. Obviously, Gentile had the one off the line, but first save from the goalkeeper, and he was alive for it. Good header from Croce there.
Yep, Croce wins the ball flat across to Moteng. Moteng chips it forward. Topolsky chases it down. Ooh.
Right.
That was a little bit. Sorry, that was Gio Rodriguez, but that was lucky that Rodriguez didn't get a yellow card for dangerous play there. Stud's way up by the chest of Gentile. Lots of traffic. Utah battling away in the corner with Berdaric. And Gomez still alive in the corner for Gomez. Using his body, he falls down and earns the free kick. This is one thing that Shark Coast can improve on here early on when they kind of get trapped in the corners. And if you could just switch that, I mean, we saw, I believe Mobile Baki tried to do it once and just sent it a million miles the wrong way, but.
Looking for DeSoto, and DeSoto was 40 yards away. But
yeah,
the ideas are good. That's the overarching, I would say, thing that I would take from this first half is that there have been a lot of good ideas. Clearly, a lot of good coaching that's going on. It's just it's not always coming off. That's been the one problem, is it's not quite there.
Again, this high press from Shark Coast's front two, and this is, I think, why you want a guy like Josue Utah to be on the front line, even if he does sit a little deeper when you have the ball, is because he can pressure the back line so well. He's so fast and forces defenders into mistakes. Balbaki trying to take it off of Portis. Machiri recovers. He goes down, no whistle. Shark Coast, long pass ahead and looking for Moreno, who went the wrong direction.
I mean, Utah was streaking there. That was it's easy to commentate from up here and say that was the wrong pass because Utah had time, but you would have liked to see him play Utah in there, or at least give him a chance at the ball. I will say both keepers have been extremely alert off their lines tonight, so those floated balls over the top have not really come off as well as you would think, because you have Tirado and Mabone just picking everything off.
Moreno, the layoff, Balbaki in the corner.
Nice little intricate football there.
But Utah loses the ball and falls down.
It does seem like Nona, they're keying on Josue Utah, where every time he has the ball, it looks like three of them jump him. And it seems like they're like, other players can beat us maybe, but they're not going to let Utah be that guy. Go, Cale Saunders clears it to Gio Rodriguez. He's got some space.
Rodriguez has Bo to deal with. Turns around him well. Plays to Polsky. Topolsky up the wing for Moteng. And Nona FC is unlucky there because Gentile was looking up top with a one-time long pass towards Apaya, and he ended up kicking it off the heels of his teammate and out of play. But again, you're seeing the synergy start to develop between these players that have now played together for about 3 weeks. And you see it with Moteng and Topolsky and Rodriguez, especially here on this near sideline.
Been very impressed with...
Oh, Moteng can't get there.
I've been very impressed with the 1-2s that Balbaki and Moreno have been playing. There's been a lot of little intricate 1-2 touch passing, and I've been very impressed with that so far. It makes me feel good about the direction that they're heading. And like we said, it's just a matter of, I believe, when, not if.
Saunders wins the throw-in for Shark Coast. Mikhail Saunders, I don't think played on Wednesday.
with how many games these guys are playing in such a short span of time, I think that's one of the biggest assets, I think, is being able to rotate properly and have players that are fresh every single time they come out.
Yeah, the center back pairing was Simpkins and Wade Stinson, who also was substituted off early with a bit of an injury concern. You know, Wade Stinson has had a little bit of injury issues early on in this season.
Stinson always very easy to pick out of a crowd when he's on the pitch because he looks like a linebacker. He's a very big, imposing figure. Played his last year of college ball out at Wisconsin.
Ball beyond Saunders. Apaya to the corner to pick it up. And Johnny on the spot is Abram Wilson to clear it out for a throw in. Extended pressure here for the visitors in orange.
Abram Wilson has played that defensive mid hybrid center back position today with aplomb. It reminds me of like a Liverpool Fabinho or maybe like a Sergio Busquets, kind of harkening back to that, you know, that Barcelona team that we were talking about earlier, where he looks not out of place and he's completely bossed the game from that position. He and Balbaki and Gio Rodriguez have been, I would say, easily Shark Coast's 3 best players in today's game. As you watch them, you know, up and down the pitch, they've kind of been controlling the tempo.
Nona with the overload here on the left-hand side. Bo trying to get by Moreno. Bo still looking, and will play it back to Gomez. Gomez has runners in front of him, tries to slip it through, and he plays it way too far in front of Michael Apaya.
A little too much sauce on that from Gomez, but a good thought as he had both Apaya and Larry Noel were streaking, and so they had a beat on their players too. So I think that was still a good thought, just didn't quite come off for him.
Michael Apaya had 4 goals in 18 games at FIU last year as a senior. Picked up 15 shots on goal. Utah knocks it down. Has Motang running outside of him. Can he find the run? And he plays it just a little bit too far inside. And Gomez cleans it up.
It's been very uncharacteristic today from Josue Utah. I mean, I've been watching him for 2 years now, and he just looks a little off. I don't know if he's maybe tired or I don't know, but that final touch, you can see the brilliance, but it just doesn't quite seem to be coming off for him today.
Yep.
He looks a little dejected as he walks around this right wing.
You can see the Nona backline continuing to make these little mistakes, these little turnovers. Shark Coast has not succeeded in punishing them yet, as that last time the touch from Moreno took it wide.
Speaking of backline making mistakes, almost a big one there from Croce. Almost played in Thomas Bowe. But fortunately,
Moreno nods it in field, while Baki will chase it down. And a chance for Nona now to have an overlap here. This is Osei Gyamfi. Haven't talked about him much. He's mostly been kind of that deep lying role. Utah now on the wing, cuts it inside, plays it towards Gio Rodriguez, who got the ball touched off his feet by Gomez, who's wearing the captain's armband today.
That is the kind of thing that you expect Utah to do. Dynamite feet, was able to create space out of nothing with 3 guys around him.
Rodriguez finds Topolsky. Moreno running in front of him. Now Utah. Utah marshaled well, and he fouls Bardaric. Bardaric has been so good.
That's Bardaric able to hold pace with Utah, which is not something that I would have guessed would have been the case before this game.
Yep. Bardaric not content for just playing in Germany, also played in Albania, won an Albanian Cup with Valentia Shokder, and then came to the U.S. to play college ball. Spent 1 year as a grad student at Syracuse in 2025, scored 4 goals in 20 games as a center back, and was all ACC.
Referee being a bit of a stickler about where these throw-ins are being taken.
Well, Nona's been dinged once. Now Shark Coast gets one.
It's consistent. That's all you ask for with refereeing. It's consistent.
into first half stoppage time. Is there a late drama here for Shark Coast? Maybe not, because Nona FC is going to win a throw in here. Can't imagine there's going to be much time added on here. No yellow cards.
Just the water break, I would think, would be about it.
Yeah, so that'd be about a minute or 2 minutes. Motang bumped off the ball. He's down in a heap. And the referee's going to stop play as Ryan Motang is in some visible discomfort.
It looks like he'll be all
Yeah,
right.
look, referee's going to help him back to his feet. Looked like he hit his knee on the turf on the way down. This is turf, not grass, so not the kindest of materials to take a tumble on.
No, I have taken many a skin burn from turf fields like this. I will say the advantage of playing on a turf field like this versus grass in the state like Florida is it plays a lot quicker. You don't have to worry about any of it slowing down. So if you want to play quick two-touch football, one-touch football, you're going to have that advantage when you play on a turf field. The disadvantage is it's 20
Is there
degrees
one last
warmer.
attack here for Nona? This is Bo on the other side now.
Great job from DeSoto there to tackle and force him out of bounds.
And win the throw in Shark Coast's way as well. And that should just about do it here for half number 1. The fourth official looks at his watch. And just like 7 days ago, it looks like we are inching towards a 0-0 first half here at New Smyrna Beach Stadium, but not for the lack of entertainment. 3 goals that probably should have been for Shark Coast. Well defended in the midfield as well. And we are tied at the break between Shark Coast FC and Nona FC. We will take a break, and when we come back, it's half number 2 here from New Smyrna Beach Stadium.
Our second half is about to get underway. Get on your feet and make some noise for your Shark Coast FC!
Back at the new Smyrna Beach Sports Complex Stadium. It's about to be second half time. And it is currently 0-0 between Nona FC and Shark Coast FC. A winner of this match will see them go top of the table. 45 minutes left to go here. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company. John Austin IV joins me in the booth.
Lovely evening out here. Quite a crowd we have. Looks like some substitutes coming in for the second half. Saw Xavier Rimple, number 14 there.
Xavier Rimple from Canada. Chattanooga FC has played some MLS Next Pro. And an immediate chance for Rimple as he couldn't get on the end of that cross from Mutiri. Nona FC, who barely got a look in the box in the first half, starting off strong here in half number 2. Rimple is a guy that can really turn it up like a freak athlete. He was great at soccer and cross country in high school back in Ontario, Canada. And so you bring a guy like that on for the second half, you know he just has legs for days.
Mm-hmm. Looks very fresh, too, out of the jump against some tired legs, maybe. As we get into the second half, interested to see what Coach Monsanto will do with his starting 11.
Shark Coast not happy that that decision went against them. Utah trying to nick the ball in off the throw-in. Andrew Portis live to it. He'll send it upfield, headed away by a guy who was sneaky good in the first half, Weston DeSoto. We didn't talk about him much, but he was always in and around the ball on the left flank. Utah goes down. He will get a free kick there. As in and amongst it is Samuel Mutiri.
Polsky looks like he's going to stand over this one.
Now, he's been the set-piece guy outside the 2 set-piece assists that Aiden Melville had a week ago. Once again, Shark Coast with a height advantage in the box. Topolsky sends it in. Moreno can't quite get on the end of it. And looks like there's a foul in the box as Moreno a little bit too overzealous. He knocked down Portis. But you could see what they were trying to do. Just get the ball to Moreno, and hopefully he has a shoulder in front of the defender, which is not that unlikely or uncommon here. Long ball ahead, a little bit undersold, but it's knocked down. Osei Gimafi controls it on the far side. Ryan Moteng, knocks it out. Throw in for Nona. Bit of a chippier start to the second half. The last 15 or so minutes of the first were end-to-end stuff. Both teams just sprinting up and down, but
very choppy so far.
A lot of tackles, a lot of whistles here in the first couple of minutes of half number 2. I was looking at around the grounds, the scores from around the Southeast Division at the break. There's only one score to talk about because there's only one other game going on tonight, with Jacksonville and Gainesville both off tonight. Jacksonville and Brave FC actually play on Monday night. And Gainesville is in the middle of a 10-day break. Gimafi plays it to the back post and over everybody's head, including Andrew Portis, who was the intended target. The one match that did happen tonight, Brookhouse FC dropped a 3-0 decision on the road in the Villages against Brave SC. That puts Brave SC on 8 points and provisional top of the table. If one of these teams wins here tonight, they would still be top, but a draw would see Brave SC top the table tonight. Brave SC, of course, formerly known as Villages SC, have been there and around it, have been to 2 USL2 national semifinals in their history. And they will come here to New Smyrna Beach Stadium for our next home match on the 20th of June.
I think that one's going to be electric, especially if both teams are looking the way that they have been. If it's, maybe a battle for first place in that table. I will say this is my first go-round with the USL2. And for those that might be watching at home, are you familiar with the setup and how it works with getting into maybe the national playoffs?
Only the division winners advance. That's it.
That's interesting. I mean, that makes every single game matter.
Yep. And there are sometimes in regions, because there are divisions, like the Southeast Division, like these two teams play in, that are broken up into regions. As Larry Noel is offsides. He sticks at the back of the net. For the second time today, he's done that. But he's offsides. But the division's broken up into regions. So we are in the South region. It's us and like the Gulf Coast around it, Texas, is the South region. And so if there are an odd number of divisions in the region, then some second-place teams get in, and it gets in the weeds with like points per match and goal difference and across different divisions and all that kind of thing. But I believe this year there is an even number of divisions in the southern region, so there are no second-place teams that will automatically advance.
Interesting here that there was a flag for offside, but it looked like the referee was playing advantage and pulls it back to give Gyamfi the chance for a free kick from about 40 yards out.
Jose Gyamfi from Kumasi, Ghana. Puts his left foot through it, and he just misses the field goal posts.
And
that's a penalty kick. Oh, no, maybe a corner kick. I see a yellow card out, and it's for Hector Moreno. And a penalty kick for Nona. And this was how Brookhouse got back in the game last week.
Yellow card issued to Shark Coast FC number 9, Hector Moreno.
It started with a penalty kick. This was on a ball driven really far out of everywhere by Gyamfi. It was
not dangerous at all. I mean, that's a mistake that you really don't want to make. That ball was not going anywhere, and it looked like a tangle of legs, but obviously we don't have VAR or the advantage of a bunch of replays, and neither do the referees. But it looks like the referee on the sideline was emphatic that it was a penalty, and the referee in the center spot didn't hesitate either. So they obviously have a better look than we do. It's unfortunate, but Larry Noel up to try to score his third goal of the season against Shark Coast.
And his fourth overall. 2 of his 3 goals were against Shark Coast the first time these teams met. Larry Noel, the Trinidad and Tobago national, has played for the U20 national team down in Trinidad and Tobago. Can Mark Torado keep this game 0-0? Larry Noel fires Nona FC into the lead from the penalty spot here in the 54th minute.
Goal, Nona FC, number 9, Larry Noel.
And, I mean, that was a very calm penalty from Larry Noel. Sends Torado completely the wrong way, keeps it down. I like the run up there. I don't get in. I'm old school when it comes to penalties, shootouts, and things like that, where you see the stutter steps and the run ups. Just gets up there, sends Torado the wrong way, puts it in the bottom left corner. No nonsense, but completely against the run of play in this game. And Shark Coast FC inexplicably find themselves 1-0 down here. Where do we go from here, Michael?
Yep.
That's the real question.
And you've had the most of the running in the game in the first half. But in the second half, Nona has come out with intent. And Mobile Baki gets knocked down. He's going to be on the end of it one way or the other. Either he's doing the knocking down or the one being knocked down. But there's got to be a sense of urgency right now for Shark Coast.
Gentile extremely lucky, I think, to escape that without a yellow card, because that was a very cynical foul. And he knew Motang was going to be through.
This time they take the short free kick to the byline and out of play.
Just not enough runway there for Ryan Motang.
It almost looked like Motang was trying to topple over easy there.
Remonstrating with the referee right now. Not happy with that call. As we have a Nona FC player down inside his own box. Looks like either a cramp or a hamstring. I'm going to say hamstring because it doesn't look like a cramp. It doesn't look like he's moving like that.
So it's 1-0 Nona FC on a penalty kick goal for Larry Noel in the 54th minute. Larry Noel is a goal scorer. He's got 4 goals now in 5 games for Nona FC. He's their top scorer. He also scored 7 goals in 2 seasons at Salt Lake Community College and 3 goals for a really talented Marshall team in the Sun Belt this past year in 2025. He also has 3 goals and 3 caps for the U20 national team of Trinidad and Tobago.
It looks like that was one of the new substitutes that just came in. I believe that was Josh Blanton, who comes in.
And immediately goes out.
Yeah, immediately subbed off. We got another Abdu Mane, it looks like, has also been subbed into the game.
I'm trying to see who's come on in the back line for
Number
Nona.
16. That would be Tyler,
Tyler
Bush.
Bush, Fort Myers, Florida, is now going to play center back. He's also a West Virginia Mountaineer, just finished up his freshman year there. Played only 3 games as a true freshman. Croce.
Calm there from Croce. Shark Coast yet to use a substitute, and I wonder what Coach Monsanto is thinking, when he's going to start rolling the dice here, maybe who he brings off the bench, who he can call on. I mean, asking you, who do you think would be someone? I mean, DeSesa was someone last week against Brookhouse that showed quite a bit of pace when he came off the bench, looked pretty electric, creating some chances, ended up creating one of the free kicks that led to one of Shark Coast's goals. Ugas Iguaron, another one that could potentially come off the bench and make some noise.
Yeah, I'm looking at a guy maybe like Ryan Avalone as well, who's come in. He played decent amount of minutes on Wednesday as well, but I think that the top attacking players are already in the game, right? You've Moreno, Motang, Utah.
Brooks Beeman, the new Smyrna Beach product, is another one I could see maybe getting some minutes here. He had some intent last week against Brookhouse.
Miscommunication between Topolsky and Balbaki. Sees that ball go out of play, and you can see the kind of frantic energy now from Shark Coast being down 1-0. In the first half, it was very calm and composed for the Sharks, but now, after going behind very early in the second half, they've lost a little bit of that composure. Thumped clear by Berdaric. Xavier Rimpel plays it forward. Yamfi. Back to Rimpel. Man open in the box. And it's a foul called and an offsides, and however you want to slice it. That ball was not going the way of Nona FC as Mark Torado got taken out by Apaya. Actually, that was Noel in the box that collided with him.
Torado takes a second to collect himself and gets up off the pitch, but approaching the 60-minute mark here in this game, yeah, I'm not really sure where you go from here. I mean, this is one of those games that you scratch your head because, I mean, by all metrics, Shark Coast should be winning. It came down to what we talked about. One mistake. That's all it takes at this level is one mistake, and somehow you're losing.
Utah strong on the ball. Wins the free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card for Guillermo Gomez. But again, these free kicks from way outside the box, I don't think Nona FC is too disappointed, because all the free kicks that Shark Coast have been from 30, 40 yards. and they're not really been threatening.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Gomez there, that's a smart foul. I mean, rather than giving Utah time and space running directly at your defense, they seem just like I said in the first half. They're letting everyone else. They're saying Josue Utah is not going to beat us. Other players maybe, but not him. And that was a foul that pretty much summed that up. It was a microcosm of that whole point.
Even though Hector Moreno was the one that scored the one goal for the Sharks the last time these two teams met. Dom Topolsky fires it in. Berdaric heads clear. Sent back into the mix. Utah's there. He nods it across. Moreno tries to go for the spectacular. Saunders puts it back in. The punch from Mabon. Croce trying to get on the end of it, and it goes out for a goal kick. A scramble in the box, and Nona FC survives.
It was a scramble in the box, but I don't think there was actually a shot on target through that whole kerfuffle, I think might be a good word to describe it.
That is a very good word.
It was looked like a street fight in there, but no shots on target to show for it. And Nona FC breathes a sigh of relief because that ball was hanging up in the air. Moreno challenging Mabon. He gets it restarted with Berdaric.
Shark Coast got to be careful about giving up a counterattack as they're throwing men forward, trying to equalize here, down 1-0 in the 60th minute. Balbaki, nice little drop of the shoulder to get free. Utah off of his head into the corner.
That was an incredible passage of play from all three players.
Utah driving to the byline and can't keep it in. Gets a shoulder bump from Berdaric for his trouble. I got to reiterate how impressed I've been with Tim Berdaric tonight.
He really has, and it looked like Utah was almost looking for contact there. Like it didn't look like he was looking to drag that ball back. He was looking almost for a penalty.
Well, when you concede a penalty that you don't think you should have got, there is a mental kind of lapse that happens where you try and get it back, right?
Yeah.
The ref's going to give one back to us, and you can't think that way. You got to keep playing your game and create the goal from open play like you've been trained to do. If it happens, it happens, but you
Especially
can't
with
expect
a player
it
like
to.
Utah, like he's better than that. Like you just gotta put that head down, create that chance. Balbaki
Battling
Great
with
tackle.
Xavier Rimple. Outside of the foot through ball. Utah holds it up. Slip through from Moreno. And once again, the final ball not quite there for Shark Coast. You got to rue the missed opportunities for Moreno, for Utah.
Another one.
And a big
Gyamfi.
old tackle as Gyamfi's going to pick up a yellow card here in the 62nd minute.
Yellow card for Nona FC, number 15, Ose Gyamfi.
Three yellows so far in the book, none of whom are Mo Balbaki. So,
Yeah.
and we're 63 minutes in, so
This may be the cleanest game he's played so far this
he
year.
has. And I've been very impressed. That passage of play that got Utah to there, the pass from Motang to Balbaki, the turn from Balbaki to completely shift his body weight, open those hips up, and then moving the ball down to Utah. It's just a shame it didn't end in a goal, but a beautiful passage of play from all three players along that spine of the Shark Coast FC team.
Croce fails to connect with Topolsky. Turning in the middle is Gyamfi. Stepping through is Abram Wilson. But Topolsky can't keep it in. The only time that Nona FC has scored more than one goal in a match was the 5-1 win over Shark Coast back on the 20th of last month. Balbaki chips it ahead. Utah can't get on the end of it. What a move. That was Andre Gentile. Dribbled away from three Shark Coast defenders and springs the break the other way. Apaya. This is Basit or Abdumane who's just checked in. Balbaki.
It's like Mane didn't really know where he wanted to go with that one. Got spoiled for choice.
Moreno now 3 defenders around him. Gets the touch. And a throw in for Shark Coast.
Good job from Moreno there to hold that up. 3 defenders around him, and he still manages to get a throw in out of it and not concede possession.
Balbaki drops it back for Dom Topolsky. Sitting pretty deep, Topolsky. Mostly likes to play a little bit more forward, but we've seen him a little bit of everywhere tonight. Motang, long pass ahead. The header goes towards goal.
And it's a penalty!
Penalty for Shark Coast. They're going to get Mabon. And he's going to pick up a yellow card. He came and cleaned out Utah as he went for the header. What a ball, by the way, from Ryan Motang.
Absolutely. And Hector Moreno here, the big dog, to take it.
Yellow card issued to Nona FC number 1, Tom Mabone.
So Nona FC took the lead from the penalty spot in the 53rd minute. Can Shark Coast answer back through Hector Moreno?
Interesting. Looks like he's setting up on his left foot here.
It's the Colombian against the Frenchman Mabon. And it's a goal for Shark Coast from the penalty spot. Hector Moreno, his 3rd of the season, ties this at 1.
Goal, Shark Coast FC, scored by number 9, Hector Moreno.
And you have to say, John, deserved on the run of play tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the football gods looking out for us on that one, because this game deserves to be tied. And Moreno gets his goal against Nona FC again. That's what he does. He loves to score goals. And
Hector Moreno's 3rd of the season, and I think we're about to get an all-out war here in the last 20 minutes.
it was honestly great work from Mabone. He almost saved that. Moreno luckily tucked it just inside that bottom right-hand corner. And Shark Coast FC right back in this game. But Moreno, he did the stutter step, which I'm not a fan of. We've gone on record. I'm not a fan of the stutter step. But he ends up tucking it away, as you almost knew he would. I didn't want to say it and give him the commentator's curse, but it felt like we were going to get that one from Hector Moreno. And now it's all square as Saunders.
And again, all the way up towards Utah. And again, the foul committed by Rimpel. And it seems that both teams are putting in a little bit of an extra foot here in this second half, especially now after that second goal's gone in. It's been very chippy back and forth in this second half. Almost no flow to the game.
Yeah, the second half has been very disjointed. The thing is, though, I mean, now it's tied back up, and Shark Coast still have used no substitutes. So I wonder what Coach Monsanto has up his sleeve here.
Looks like a very light bench. Looks like only three. Oh, no, all the subs are over there warming up. I'm like, there's only 3 guys on the bench. That doesn't seem right.
Oh, but I wonder what his throw of the dice will be here. Croce, great move there.
Yeah, he's been really impressive tonight. Of course, playing not really at his favored position at outside back, but he's done a really good job, especially on the ball, moving the ball away from pressure.
It seems like that's something that Coach Monsanto has really preached to these players, is being able to play wherever he needs them to.
Oh, a little bit of a bobble by Mabon on the header back to him.
Lucky.
As it is, it's not easy to have Brian Motang bearing down on you at full speed. Well, we've already seen Mabon make the mistake, concede the penalty, but even I'm going to want to go back to that, because even if the penalty was not given, you had the 3rd goal line clearance of the night for Nona SC, as the header from, I believe it was Utah, was going in before it was cleared.
They've been playing great help side defense. I mean, their back line, you can't really say too much bad about it. They've played the offside trap extremely well tonight, as we've seen with Topolsky.
Here comes Noel. He squirts through, gets in, and scores. He's done it again. 2 straight braces against Shark Coast for Larry Noel. And it was just a simple through ball to give a 2-1 lead to the visitors. The goals coming thick and fast here in the second half.
Goal scored by Nona FC number 9, Larry Noel.
And you have to say, I mean, once they don't have to play Nona FC anymore, I think Shark Coast will be very happy to not have to see that man anymore, because he has been terrorizing them so far this season.
Yeah,
and
this
that goal comes out of nothing. Great finish. I thought he had overrun it. I thought Torado had him, but he just tucks it away at that last second, goes right past Torado. And it's 2-1 again, and you can feel the deflation in the stadium here from that goal.
Yeah, it was the energy was back in after the penalty from Moreno, but now the Sharks back on the back foot once again. Overlapping run for Moteng. He slides it through. Tried to pull it back was Topolsky, and it's cleared away.
Moreno was sitting there waiting for it, too.
Shark Coast throwing bodies forward now. Topolsky to the wing. Rodriguez lays it back for Croce. And it skips all the way through and agonizingly near the post.
It was a great header down from Utah. He just needed someone to get on the end of that, but Moreno was just a little bit behind it, and you could see that Mabone was pretty comfortable that it was going to go wide, but from up here it looked a lot closer than I'm sure it was at field level.
Tom Mabone from France has 7 caps for the France under-16 and under-18s, and is playing in the U.S. at University of Alabama at Birmingham.
The Blazers. Funny enough, UAB and his home club, Nona, have the same color scheme. Just a little, I don't know, not for nothing, doesn't really matter, but just a fun little fact.
Nice touch by Gyamfi. Noel plays it through, and a stinging shot by Apaya is gloved down by Torado.
That is Torado's first save on the day. In fairness, they've only had 3 shots on target, one of which was the penalty. The other was the other Noel goal, and then that one. So really not testing the goalkeeper too much.
Tries to knock it inside. It's kept in play. A little bit too tall for Utah at the back post. Moteng tried to keep it alive, shouldering away while Baki, and winning a free kick is Samuel Mutiri.
As you can see, Nona trying to take the air out of the ball here as Shark Coast prepares their first substitute of the night.
I don't think this is not going to be a foul, but we are going to have a head injury as the trainer being beckoned on here for Larry Noel, who has been the thorn in Shark Coast's side this season. He has 2 braces against the Sharks, 4 goals in the 2 meetings. And looking at the rest of the schedule for Shark Coast, they don't play Nona FC again in the regular season. I think they're thankful for that. They get a 2-game road swing next week, starting on Wednesday against Sporting Jacksonville in Orlando at Brook House. And they're back here on the 20th against Brave. Well, they do get Nona FC one more time. It's their last home game on the 27th of June. But funnily enough, they've played at Gainesville twice. They don't see him again. They play every team 3 times except Gainesville, who they only played twice, and they played him twice in the first 4 games. And then they don't see him again for the rest of the season.
Wonder if it's a scheduling conflict. Who knows? I'm interested to see who Shark Coast brings on. I cannot see the numbers, so I cannot quite make out who that is.
We will get it for you as soon as we can.
But just one person coming in.
Well, I see some more pink training tops over there. Looks like we might have 2 or 3 when it's all said and done. But let's turn our attention back to the action on the field. DeSoto, that's his first real bad pass of the day. It's thumped all the way down. Still plenty of time on the clock, only the 74th minute here.
Larry Noel, I mean, this is a classic striker's performance from him where I don't know if we've called his name outside of the times he scored the goals, and yet he has 2 goals. Michael, so, I mean, it's just classic striker performance.
DeSoto, well, that was Croce, another turnover. Rimpel, we know he's got the wheels. Outside of the foot, looking for Noel again. He tries to bring it down to the box. He taps it back to Rimpel. Rimpel looking to make it 3. And Cale Saunders gets a foot on it.
Great defense there from Cale Saunders, not buying what Rimpel was selling.
Mane tries to chip it through. Saunders again, clears it away. Stepping up to head it is Abram Wilson. The Shark Coast faithful wanted a foul for over the back on that previous clearance. None was forthcoming, and now here's Nona bursting through the middle again. Ooh. And it's clanged off of the goalposts. Not the word work, but the goalposts. And we will finally get that Shark Coast substitution.
Mutiri just kind of cut through the Shark Coast defense there like a hot knife through butter. Everything just opened up for him, and he said, well, I guess I'll have a go. And he wasn't too far away.
It's going to be Wade Stinson who's going to come on for Shark Coast here.
Wonder who he's coming in for.
Well, we're going to have the water break.
Wade Stinson, I wonder if that's more of a, if they're going for more set pieces, long throws, because Stinson, as you can see him there, he's an imperious figure. Very large, great header of the ball in the air, and a great defender as well. So I'm wondering, you know, if that's part of this, is if they're going to try and get more corners, get the ball forward, win more free kicks in those dangerous positions, try to swing one in for him.
Shark Coast FC Soccer on Sports Engine is brought to you by Ocean Properties, Adam Clark Law, Coastal Integrative Health, Beeman Nursery, Izzy Island Tacos and Ice Cream, Advent Health, Dr. Evan Fines, JLC Construction, Seahorse Inn, Ever After FRMS, Advanced Urology, Cool Treats, NSB Battery Tender. The premier sponsor is Lexend, and Shark Coast FC's title sponsor is Go Gut. A healthier gut, a healthier you. We are headed towards only the second loss of the season for Shark Coast, unless there's a late sting in the tail here in the last 15 minutes or so. The difference in the game, this goal that was scored by Larry Noel seemingly out of nowhere.
Out of nothing.
Just a through ball and a cool left-footed finish. Noel's got both goals, and Shark Coast is behind 2-1. And really the finishing touch has been the thing that Shark Coast has lacked this season. Only 7 goals now in their 7 games, or 6 games rather.
Yeah, I don't really know where they go from here, because it looks like, so Stinson is coming in, but it looks like they have him in the midfield? Did he come in for Saunders? No, Saunders is on the far side.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out where Wade Stinson is fitting. It looks like they're going to play him in the midfield.
Yeah, I think you're right, John. I think it's just trying to get more bodies forward, more height forward, try and knock down one of these long balls.
Looks like Topolsky is the one. Also, number 12, Ugas Igaron, also coming in.
A clean header won by Nona. And an odd man rush the other way. Great header by Stinson, or by Saunders, rather, to knock that one back to Torado and out of danger. Topolsky brings it down. Balbaki getting a rare full 90 minutes out of Mo Balbaki tonight, mostly because he hasn't picked up a yellow card.
That's Melville.
Oh, is it Melville?
I was looking. I was like, that looks too small to be Wade Stinson.
Well, again, it's very hard
These
to see the numbers.
are difficult to see, especially when it's dark.
So I was going off the beard and thinking that Melville is not with the team right now. Apparently, he still is.
Maybe it was a quick trip.
So Melville is out there, currently battling for the ball. Balbaki tries to win it back. Really good strength by Muchiri, but he does give it up. Melville tries to play it through. DeSoto tried to get on the end of that one. And I bet the last 10 minutes are going to look a lot like this. Wave after wave of Shark Coast attack. Long ball over the top.
Great ball from Croce there out to Motang.
Motang didn't really bring it down cleanly. Kind of bounced over his head. And then he loses out to Andre Gentile. But Gentile's throw-in is turned over immediately. Oh. And Melville gets taken out. He left a trailing leg out there, and it was hacked at. I believe that's by Muchiri again. No, Gyamfi picks up the foul there.
Kind of surprised no yellow card. That seemed like a pretty physical challenge from here. He didn't go for the ball at all, just took the legs out from Balbaki as he was shielding it on that right-hand side, but he's not the worse for wear. We've made it 81 minutes, no Balbaki yellow card for those of you at home playing bingo. So, bit of a collector's item.
You don't get that space tonight. Last time there was a free kick like this, a lot of chaos in the box, but no goal for Shark Coast.
But the difference is Melville's on this one.
Melville is on this one. I wasn't going to bring it up until afterwards.
I'm sorry.
But this is a very similar distance to where he provided his 2 assists last week. Melville puts his hands in the air, swings it in, and a great clearing header.
It's Tyler Bush with an authoritative header out of there.
Bush only playing due to an injury on the back line.
Abdou Mane wins a throw in there from Dakar, Senegal. Played at Montverde Academy and then plies his trade at Clemson now.
We've got
long line of very good Senegalese Manes, as we've seen in recent years.
Yeah, but there's so much international, but I mean, a couple of Ghanaians on this team. We haven't seen KK Bafor yet, who plays at Notre Dame. Or I should say played at Notre Dame, just graduated this year. Swung across the box. Rimpel was there. The goal was gaping, and all he could do was steer it high, wide, and all the way beyond the track. And we're going to see a substitution for Nona here. And looks like maybe more subs for the Sharks as well, as I see at least one player putting a white kit on behind the bench.
Looks like
there goes Noel. His day is done. His job is done. 2 goals, including the presumptive game winner. They're going to take off their striker and add an extra defensive midfielder.
20.
Christian Acevedo. West Orange High School out of Orlando, Christian Acevedo. This is Utah. He's spun down, no foul, and a goal kick. Much to the chagrin of the home crowd.
That was some great defense there. The way the referee pointed so emphatically, for a second my heart jumped and I thought it might have been a penalty, but it looked like some good clean defending. I just wasn't sure if I didn't see something. But
there's no whistle there.
No, Utah being very, I mean, he's been bottled up by this Nona FC team today. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He looks very uncomfortable.
Does he have a shot on goal? I think he's got one.
He has one shot on goal and then one shot that went way over the goal. So not a great afternoon, evening for Josue Utah. But
He was bottled up by Gainesville on Wednesday, too, even though they tried to play through him the whole match.
Seems like teams are keying on him and slowing everything down.
Ball over the top. Utah, but Berdaric, who's been so good tonight, just puts his body in the way and clears it down the line.
He really has been. Berdaric has been otherworldly tonight.
You can see why he's gotten the run out at some pretty solid European clubs. Fortuna Köln, Unterdingen in Germany, as well as Vlanzia Shokder in Albania, won the 2021 Albanian Cup. He's still just 24 years old, Berdaric.
Melville cooking up a little something in the midfield, but turns it back to Balbaki.
5 minutes plus stoppages, and there could be a fair few minutes of stoppage time. 3 goals and a water break as well here in the second half, and 2 penalties.
A couple injuries as well.
Oh, no!
That's just unfortunate.
Balbaki hits Melville, who was on the ground, with
Gets
his
up
pass.
and plays it.
And then Balbaki does a great job to save it to Croce. Topolsky plays it in. Nobody really there. We're in white. Moteng tries to fly in late and does win the corner. I think this is the first corner of the night for Shark Coast. It certainly feels like it if it isn't. Inside the last 5 minutes, 2-1 to Nona FC. 2 goals by Larry Noel. And a Shark Coast substitution, Ryan Moteng will make way.
Looks like that is Wade Stinson coming in this time.
Yeah, that is Stinson.
Just in time for the corner.
Melville will stand over this one. Topolsky looming at the top of the box, going to knock down a clearance. Long wait before this corner kick. Melville drives it in, and it was a deflection of a Lake Nona head that just took it past Stinson.
It's Berdaric again. There goes that man.
Because Wade Stinson was lurking at the back post, having just subbed on. Lobbed in and just over Utah.
It's a good ball there from Higuaron, looking for Utah, just a little bit too much on it.
And a chance for Tom Mabone, who right now is wiping the sweat off his brow because the penalty he conceded is no longer the difference in the game. It was for a while.
We approach the 88th minute.
Is there one last good chance in it for Shark Coast? Lots of traffic there on the far side. Balbaki tries to win it back. It is cleared over the grandstands by Gomez.
Balbaki has been so, I mean, obviously they're losing, but Balbaki has had so many great moments in those little tight areas, in those 1-2 touch pass areas. Croce also been great today, not his best pass there.
Melville jumps at it, loses out, and that's going to be a free kick for Nona and more time off the clock. Croce drags down Acevedo. Christian Acevedo, one of 2 players on this team from UNCW. That's Carolina Wilmington. Carolina Wilmington. I should remember that. I should remember that. They were in my conference when I was at James Madison.
The Seahawks, isn't it?
Yeah, they are the Seahawks. One of 2 Seahawks in Division I. Can you name me the other one?
Another Seahawk. No.
The Wagner Seahawks from New England.
I should have known. Former Daytona State Falcon, Jalen Payne, basketball player, went to Wagner. He transferred to Florida International this last year. Pretty excited to see him play some big-time D1 ball.
Another free kick for Nona.
And it's just going to be time waste, time waste, time waste here. You can see it. Balbaki trying to hand deliver the ball to get them to start it faster, but they look like they are not in a hurry. Still a lot of fans here, though, for Shark Coast. No one's given up hope yet. Still pretty packed stands we have here.
A long ball towards the corner, just trying to waste more time. Ball goes out. It's another Nona throw-in. A win tonight for Nona would see them top the table with 9 points, ahead of Brave FC with 8, and Shark Coast would stay on 6. And would hope that Sporting Jacksonville cannot get a result on Monday against Brave in order to stay in 3rd. That's how tight this table is. Shark Coast could drop from a tie for 1st to 4th in one weekend.
More substitutes going in and out.
Yeah, I think Shark Coast is also going to make a substitution.
Samuel Materi, who's had a great game himself, makes way as we approach.
He's going to give way for Felipe Morera, another Brazilian. Shark Coast needs to get it forward and get it forward fast. We're into second half stoppage time. That ball went out of play for a Nona throw-in.
You have to wonder how much time is on this clock for the referee. Obviously, up here in the booth, we don't open a yellow card issued to Aiden Melville there, it looks like.
I'm guessing that's for dissent.
Yellow card issued to Shark Coast number 17, Aiden Melville.
Melville not happy with the pace of the game in these last couple of minutes, as Nona has really taken the sting out of it. Adam Benrahu has come on for Shark Coast.
Croce, who, by all intents and purposes, Croce had a great game today. He really has, especially playing out of position, kind of at that like left center back in a back 3. But looks like it might be all for naught if they can't get something going here.
Israel Daniels also in for Shark Coast. New Smyrna Beach product. Nona FC wanted another penalty.
The referee said no. He was not buying what Acevedo was selling.
Josue Utah tries to dribble through traffic. Knocked away by Gomez. Gomez again gets in the way. Cleared by Berdaric. Melville heads it down. This is Stinson sending it forward. And Tom Mabone is there, and that could be all she wrote here on a really pleasant evening in New Smyrna Beach.
See what the referee has cooked up. I mean, we had, the 2 penalties. There was one head injury and then a water break. So we'll see. I'm guessing there's probably maybe 2 more minutes. I would think maybe one or 2 more minutes, especially with the time wasting from Nona.
Yeah, Christian Acevedo and Melville are coming together. Acevedo's going to get a yellow card.
The home fans love that.
And Shark Coast will send everybody forward. All 11 players wearing white in the offensive half, as Mark Toronto is going to make one last roll of the dice. Seven days ago, Brookhouse FC left this building with a goal in stoppage time in the 94th minute to salvage a draw.
Draw here would feel like a win, Michael.
Toronto lumps it forward. Bodies go up. Nobody connects with the ball. It's played away by Nona, only as far as Melville. He sends it back into the mix. Berdaric is there to head it away.
Referee still hasn't looked at his watch, so I think we got a little bit.
94th minute, and we play on. I believe that was Topolsky. who tried to put his left foot through that one. But it was nowhere near the target. Correction, that was Iguaron. And with 94.5 minutes played, will this be the last kick of the game?
Looks like the referee's taking into account a little bit more of this time wasting
that
Nona have been doing.
It's Berdaric. He gets bowled over. The ball is loose in front, and Mabone collects it. Barely ahead of Utah. Maybe the one mistake Tim Berdaric has made all game.
Just couldn't quite get underneath it, but Mabone again. Both these goalkeepers been very live for these balls.
Mabone comes to his rescue. It's cleared into touch.
See DeSoto very, very frustrated with himself there.
Xavier Rempel will throw it in quick. Doesn't want to get a yellow card. Acevedo will just lump it towards the goal. Basket catch, baseball style for Torado.
Can of corn.
It's flipped on, and Berdaric is there again. Strong challenge for Shark Coast. Melville in the middle. He gets taken out. Free kick for the Sharks and another yellow card.
For Felipe Morera.
Felipe Morera, who just got subbed on in the last 5 minutes.
Yellow card, Nona FC, number 17, Felipe Morera.
And now this will definitely be one last lump forward for Shark Coast. I'm surprised that there's even anybody else back there besides Mark Torado.
Yeah, it looks like Torado's getting told maybe to go up.
Well, Torado is 6 foot tall.
Get him in there. It's always the dream playing goalkeeper growing up. They tell you to run forward. You get, all you need is one chance. What do you got?
96 minutes on the clock. And it's not a great ball, but it comes right back to him. High ball into the box. Bodies go up for it. It's Torado! It's blocked away in front. He had a chance, and that's the last kick of the game. Oh, the goal was there for Torado, but it was just barely blocked. And Nona FC takes all 6 points from Shark Coast here in the 2026 season in their first 2 meetings, and they will be top of the table come Monday.
Yeah, this is a tough one. 2 weeks in a row, Michael, we've had 2 tough broadcasts. They shipped the goals last week and end up tying the game against Brookhouse FC in the final minutes, and then this time giving up that goal to Larry Noel. I mean, these are, it's 4 points dropped in the last, or I guess, yeah, no, 5 points dropped in the last 2 weeks, and that were in their hands. This game, you have to feel very bad if you're Shark Coast FC. Should have at least drawn this game, if not won it outright. And especially with that field tilt, I mean, you can take some good things from it, different formation, but Josue Utah, I mean, they completely boxed him out of this game, and when your talisman is not playing well like that, it's not going to go well.
Shark Coast will rue their missed chances in the first half. 3 goal line clearances in the first half for Nona FC. And you really think that the game could have been done and dusted in the first. But that's what happens when you get into that funk and you can't seem to find the back of the net, and it kind of infects the whole team. And they really kind of need a good game where they score 2 or 3 from open play, because the last 3 goals this team has scored over the last 3 matches have all been from set pieces. The 2 set piece goals that Melville assisted 7 days ago, and then the one tonight from the penalty spot for Hector Moreno. And that's it. Of course, you got to give full credit to Larry Noel and what he was able to do. Only really saw the ball twice, and both times he put the ball in the back of the net, and that's it.
I mean, that's the difference. They took their chances, and Shark Coast did not. And Coach Monsanto and the guys, they'll be sick with this, but there's still plenty of time left. I think they have 3 more games. So I think there's plenty of time. I mean, you win those 3 games, you got yourself in a good position to potentially make the playoffs. But this is a tough loss.
Now,
for Shark Coast.
6 more matches left of this
6 more
season
matches.
because you're playing twice a week.
Oh, true. I guess 3 more home games.
3 more home games. Yes.
3 more home games.
So Shark Coast FC goes on the road next week. On Wednesday, they'll be at Sporting Jacks in Jacksonville, and then in Orlando next Saturday against Brookhouse FC. They will return to the New Smyrna Beach Sports Stadium on the 20th of June as they will face current table toppers Brave SC. Before we go, I do want to give a quick shout out. There is one person notably missing from the booth tonight. That is our normal public address announcer and clock operator, Phil Nunziata. Phil and his wife Jody welcomed their first child this week. So Phil, I know you're listening in. We hope to see you back in the booth soon. But for now, be with your family. We'll hold down the fort here. For everybody else listening on Sports Engine, John Austin, Michael Turillo up here in the booth. It ends 2-1. Nona FC over Shark Coast here on Saturday night. We'll see you next time and have a very good rest of your evening.